Hey folks, today is Friday, October 9th, 2020. As usual, my name is Jake, here to get you caught up on all the video game news that has been going on over the past week. Yes, time flies, it's another week, so let's jump in. A lot to talk about. The first thing, Cyberpunk 2077, which is, of course, coming out really soon in November. And, of course, like any good open world game worth its salt, we got kind of a leak of its map. So here, thanks to the good folks at Resetera, we have what seems to be the look at a leaked Cyberpunk 2077 map, seemingly from like the in-game map that's like packaged in with the game. Oh, my chair just broke. Did it really?
Yo, fucking chair just broke.
Bent? And it seems pretty legit. People matching it up with concept art and different areas and just kind of the layout. And we see areas that have been referenced in previews and Night City Wire and stuff like that. And what you see is something that doesn't look like the most amazingly huge map, but seems like a pretty dense and interesting and varied one, which is honestly what I'm looking forward to the most. We don't need giant, empty, barren game worlds. We need interesting ones, even if they're a little smaller. Not only that, I just like seeing all the sci-fi stuff here. You see to the south what looks to be like a bunch of solar panels and then like maybe like a server farm. So it's just cool, futuristic-y type stuff. Futuristic-y? Like I said, Night City and its surrounding areas, it seems like there's a good amount of variation. Like we've gotten a look at the Badlands, and now we get to see how much of that eastern part of the game world is actually there. It's quite a bit. I'm just really excited to finally jump in and explore. It's been like we've been waiting forever for this game, and now that there is a good old-fashioned map leak, it finally seems kind of real. Now, in other news, we got more breaking Gamestop news. As you guys know, we've been keeping you guys updated on Gamestop, the North American video game retail physical store. Has been having some issues. This newest bit of news, though, is pretty interesting. Is it the turning point? I don't know. Who knows how anything goes these days, but this is pretty interesting. Believe it or not, there was an announcement of a partnership between Microsoft and GameStop. According to this partnership, GameStop will sell the Xbox All Access bundle at stores. That's that thing where you can get like the Xbox and the subscription, and it's going to be no upfront cost if that's your type of thing. So I'd say expect there to be more marketing muscle and just more efforts put behind GameStop being the place to buy a next generation Xbox console if you want one. But the other stuff I think sounds a little bit more interesting. With this new partnership, GameStop is finally going to be focusing on and doubling down on their e-commerce, which, as you guys probably know, is very important for a physical store like GameStop to embrace the future like this. They have a storefront already, but to put more focus and more resources behind it could be interesting. Not only that, apparently a lot of these GameStop stores are going to be updated and reworked using new Microsoft hardware and Microsoft 365 software. You know, all the business suite software that I'm sure some of you guys may work on. Here's some quotes from Business Insider that I think are pretty interesting. GameStop will use 365 to standardize its back-end and in-store operations, including finance, inventory, e-commerce, retail, and point of sale. Staff would be able to access insights spanning both e-commerce and in-store sale data. This includes customer purchasing history, real-time data on product availability, subscriptions, pricing, and promotions. And also, GameStop will use more Microsoft Surface laptop, tablet hybrids in-store and roll out workplace subscriptions to the 365 suite, all in an effort to make staff more productive. And I think this is interesting because now here we see more of an ideological shift, more of an organization shift, more of a tactical shift. I think improving those efficiencies and kind of connecting both in-store retail and the employees and the e-commerce into like this whole connected thing, even more so than it already is, could be interesting. I'm curious to see how this goes down. I can't help but just be a nerd about this stuff. I find this stuff interesting. I am curious to hear what you guys think in the comments, though. In other news, in case you missed it, Sony put out an official video of a teardown of the PlayStation 5. I will link a video in the description that we made that breaks down a lot of the interesting details from it, but we got to see the insides of the console. We got to see where you can expand the storage with an M2 drive. We got to see how big it is. It's massive. We got to see how it's cooled, which all of the cooling system is massive. And we also got to see how the stand works. The stand is detachable. It like shifts and then you can put it on the bottom if you want to make it horizontal or vertical. I think that stuff is interesting. I just like hardware and shiny plastic. So that's where we're at. All that info, like I said, is linked in the description. And on top of that, we got a little bit of extra news thanks to a Sony support site just breaking down and outlining some PlayStation 5 backwards compatibility stuff. Some things we've already known, some worded differently. Here's the gist. Most of the 4,000 1,000 PlayStation 4 games are going to be playable on PlayStation 5. Some of them are going to have Game Boost, which was something that if you have a PS4 Pro, you know is an option you can switch on. Apparently this will be updated, and also with that, the support page does list what peripherals will work, like PlayStation 4 controllers, the Sony Gold headsets will still work, and just little tiny updates like that. Like I said, Sony's been kind of trickling out info for us, so we'll take anything we can get, especially considering the console is right around the corner, but we're getting some ideas how that stuff works. We see what it looks like now. We also get to see what it looks like when you drop it on the floor. So next up, this episode is brought to you by Raycon. These started about half the price of any other premium wireless earbuds on the market, but they don't skimp out on the quality. These have been endorsed by celebrities and creators alike with the simple idea that you shouldn't have to spend the big bucks to get good stuff. Take a look at these. This is the Raycon Everyday E25 model. Now, they've been sponsoring us for a while, so I've been using these headphones for a while, and I really like them because of the strong battery life and the fact that the case is so small, it just slides right in your pocket. It's really easy for like checking and working on videos on the go. They sync up really easy, and the carrying case charges the earbuds, and you can go days and days listening to whatever you want, and they come in a bunch of different colors. If you don't want to pay the big bucks for the name brand, consider checking these out. So if you are curious, all you got to do is go to the link on screen here. It's also in the description below to get 15% off your first order. It's buyraycon.com/gameranx. And as always, thanks to Raycon for sponsoring our video. So there you have it. Let's move on. Now we got some trailers and stuff we want to link down in the description. The first is a blowout new trailer for some more Mortal Kombat 11 characters, and these are incredibly exciting because we get Rain. We also get Mileena, which is a character that players have been begging and hounding them for since the beginning, especially Ed Boon himself. People blow up his mentions like every day. Also, we got John Rambo, which is pretty cool. I saw someone joke on social media, I don't want to steal this joke, this is not mine, but somebody said that the Mortal Kombat guest roster is kind of like if your dad got to pick all the people. That's hilarious because I really want to make RoboCop and Terminator and Rambo fight. I love that shit. Also, First Blood is the best Rambo movie, don't at me. We also got a new release date trailer for Outriders. That is that third-person shooter thing. We know that it is now coming out February 2nd. So no, it is not like a day one Xbox Series X, PlayStation 5 launch game like we initially thought. There's a lot of shifting and a lot of moving going around, and it seems like the lineups on both consoles are shrinking a little bit, at least for day one. The window, of course, is still pretty awesome, but day one, now, long story short, not getting Outriders. And speaking of that, we also got a trailer for The Medium. This is that horror game that was debuted as like an Xbox title and PC title, and this is now coming out December 10th. Trailer's pretty cool though. If you want to see that, it's linked in the description. Also on the topic of Xbox today dropped their big, expensive, fancy ad for the Xbox Series X and Series S for the holiday season. Master Chief shows up in it, even though he's not a launch title, but like the whole thing is very trippy, and it's very like, get lost in the world of graphics or whatever. Didn't really work for me. That's just me. I'm curious to hear what you guys think. Actually, hold on. I can't even say it. You know what it reminds me of? Remember like the old trippy ads for the old PlayStation consoles where they were all weird and abstract? It kind of feels like they're doing that type of thing here for Xbox. So, you know what? Weird ads, whatever, let them exist. And another little small thing I wanted to add because I am enjoying it, Mafia Definitive Edition, a game I really like, a straightforward single-player game, has been updated with a noir film grain mode, if that's something you're into. Apparently the free ride mode was also updated with some new secrets. I know some of you nerds are still exploring that. We don't know what they are yet, or maybe we do at the time of making this video, but yeah, more stuff. And in other news, it's like all PlayStation and Xbox this week. Xbox news, a little bit of an update on the whole Game Pass xCloud streaming thing. We made a video testing it. We thought it was pretty cool considering what it was, even though we're still skeptical of game streaming. As a companion, it's pretty interesting, but unfortunately it was only available on mobile devices on Android. Because of, as you probably know, how Apple handles things. It's been in the news lately for stuff with Epic and now with the xCloud. If you are an Xbox player who owns an iPhone and is really hoping it'll come to your device soon, Business Insider is reporting that yeah, maybe probably it's going to happen. There's some like leaked insider talk saying that it will absolutely come and that Xbox is exploring a browser-based solution, which will be very interesting to see work in effect, but that could be a workaround. So we'll just have to wait and see, but at least things are looking up for some of you guys. A lot of you guys have tweeted me for an update for that, so I figured we'd put it in the show. Also, real talk, can we talk about this new Resident Evil project? So they are making, Constantine Films is making a Resident Evil origin movie that is simply based around like in the 90s, like 1998. It's based around the Resident Evil 1 and Resident Evil 2. So the Spencer Mansion incident and the Raccoon City outbreak. And we have the official cast announced and everything. Like we have Claire Redfield, we have Chris Redfield, who I will say is really good casting because they just picked a brute looking dude. Just dude-ass dude. We've got Jill Valentine. We've got William Birkin, and that guy's great. I love him. He's dastardly. We also got somebody playing Wesker, who I'm not super into. They could have picked a million way crazier people to play Wesker, but I'm still willing to give this cast a shot. Seems pretty interesting. And I'm actually really into the deadline reporting and what people are saying, the people who work on this, is that they actually really wanted to make a movie based around the original games and like the origin of the entire franchise. So I'm still like, I'll believe it when I see it, but I do think things are getting better for video game, movie, and TV show adaptations. Reserve your judgment. I know some people are like, All I'll say, and a lot of people aren't going to agree with me on this, but I talked up The Witcher show. Every new update, every announcement, I brought it up on this show, and everybody thought that The Witcher was going to be really, really bad, and it turned out to be mostly positively received. I really liked it. I'm not saying that this makes this new Resident Evil thing a surefire hit, because there's still a bunch of other Resident Evil projects up in the air, but I am saying that if some things can succeed, then maybe this new Resident Evil thing can. I hope so. I love Resident Evil more than anything. I mean, Metal Gear first, but yeah. Well, my friends, we gotta run. Back to work. We do have an Xbox Series X in our hands. We are testing it, so keep an eye out next week. We're probably going to be putting out a video detailing some new information and just more videos over the coming weeks. Hopefully we can get our hands on a PlayStation 5 as well. Ooh, who knows about that, but there will be videos. So like I said, we gotta go. So I want to hear from you guys in the comments. What do you think about everything going on this week? From the PlayStation 5 teardown to Xbox Game Pass streaming, maybe ending up on your iOS device, to the Resident Evil show, of course, and all the new trailers and release date shifts for these next generation games like The Medium and Outriders, and also, of course, the Cyberpunk map. What do you think of Night City, dude? Are you excited? Let's talk about all this stuff down in the comments. I want to hear from you guys. Things get crazy, like I say, though, so if you want to yell at me directly, Twitter and Instagram at Jake Baldino. But thank you guys for coming around every Friday. We really appreciate it here. We have a ton of fun. So clicking the like button legit helps us. Thank you. And if you're new, consider subscribing, hitting that notification bell, because we put out videos every single day. But as always, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next time. Have a great weekend. For real. Pizza's on me.